Welcome, Coffee with Carl number 21. And I'm not going to just keep saying, can you believe it's 21, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm sure you can believe it's 21. I mean, hey, you've been here for a long time. And thank you so much for watching me on this new channel. And I will say that I certainly have more freedom, at least I feel like I have more freedom to talk to you about stuff without having to worry. You know, sometimes if you have a channel that's of a decent size, you kind of have to worry about cease and desist letters, you know, just kind of like, you know, legal nastiness that can happen. And that's actually going to lead me right into the first thing that I want to talk about today. And what that is, well, the first thing I want to talk about is that this is not coffee. This is some green drink that my wife has been making me. She's on another health kick. She goes through these things now where, you know, she's trying to be healthy and make the rest of us suffer along with her. So she blends up like spinach and celery and a whole bunch of other green things and makes me this grass clipping smoothie, which I have to drink, otherwise she gets mad. And it's not that bad, I guess. It's not that like I'm afraid of her. I'm kind of afraid of her, but no, I mean, in all fairness, I'm all about being healthy and sticking around for a long time. And, you know, especially I want to be here to be a good father for my children. So, and to be a good husband and to be a good person and to hopefully keep making videos and interacting with cool people. And, you know, that being said, I really love the group that has followed me over here to this channel. A lot of times on the other channel, you know, you get a video that has, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of views, and you get a lot of comments from people who they don't know you, they don't really care. They're, you know, they saw the video in their suggested feed, and those aren't the kind of people that I really want to talk one-on-one with. So it's like I have the main channel, I have this channel, then there's the Discord, which is another group of people, and then I have my patrons, and it's like that's sort of the way it goes, right? I mean, oftentimes when I come up with an idea or a concept and I want to run it by somebody, first thing I'll do is I'll talk to my patrons, because those are people who pay for, you know, to be a part of this and to support me, and they're some of the greatest people. And then, you know, it'll go to my Discord, and I'll kind of filter it through, and I don't think that at this point I will ask anybody in the main channel what they want to see. It'll probably stop here. So thank you for being a part of that. That's my reason for telling you that. I got my computer out today because what I wanted to talk to you about is the reason that I started that main channel. Now, I started that channel, it really, the spark began when I was sitting in my work van. If you've heard this story, please just bear with me for a second. I was sitting in my work van and I had blown through another pair of work pants, and I'm like, come on, man, like, I'm an apprentice. I'm not making anything for money, and I need something that's gonna last longer. So I went on. I actually had my old BlackBerry. It was a BlackBerry Curve, I think. I love that phone. It was cool. And BlackBerry had some of the best sounds. Like their ringtone, their library of sounds was really good. And I kind of wish, I mean, there must be a way to get those and put them on like an iPhone now, right? I don't know. It just seems like iPhone has used the same crap sounds for like a long time. And I like the fact that BlackBerry did something different. Anyway, my phone's usually on silent anyway, so why do I care? So I'm sitting there in my van and I'm going, all right, well, I can't find anything except for junk website after junk website, which looks like they're selling me something, and it's like a sponsored post or whatever. I could not find my way to real information. And I think that is certainly a deeper issue with Google in general, where they stopped serving up the stuff that people are actually looking for, and started turning it into, you know, kind of a pay-to-play thing, right? So people who have figured out the SEO thing get surfaced first. And then if you've ever noticed, when you scroll through, when you search almost anything on Google, you scroll by sponsored post after sponsored post, and it's like, come on, you know, like, give me the real information. Anyway, I could not find what I was looking for. And I wanted to tell you now about how you can spot a junk website, okay? I have one in front of me here, and I'm gonna kind of screen share with you. Let me see, I'm gonna start my screen recording over here so that we're looking at the same thing at the same time, right? All right, so I've tried to do my best of keeping the name of this website out of it. I really, again, don't want to get in any legal trouble, but I want to talk to you about how you can spot a junk website. This is a perfect example, okay? So right off the bat, first thing they do is they get you in with a very good, quick loading website that looks very easy to navigate. And you can go through and you start seeing these very generic titles, right? So this here has best work boots for mechanics, best work boots for flat feet, best work boots for electricians, right? These are things, what they're basically trying to do is figure out what somebody's going to type into Google and then make something that is going to answer that question. Okay, so it's coming up with the answer first to hopefully what somebody will be searching, then we'll funnel them to that particular article. So the thing that I definitely know about probably, more than anything is the best work boots for electricians. Let's click on that website or that article here. Let's take a look at what they say. Now, automatically, without looking at the website, I'm not looking. What you would want as an electrician, you'd want a composite toe. Can't use steel toes, right? You'd want possibly electrical hazard rated. A lot of times people think, well, why don't you have electrical hazard rated boots? Often because since NFPA 70E, we cannot work on live stuff. Legally, you cannot work on live things. Now, there are plenty of people who say, just grab the outlet, don't worry about shutting off the breaker, and just work on it like a man. I work with a lot of people like that. And that's illegal. You can't do that. So per code, you can't work on live stuff. Now, there are definitely times when you are working on live gear, and in which case you often have to suit up in your proper attire, an arc flash suit, a hood, depending on how high the voltage is. This thing, you can almost look like one of those dudes from ET. Remember when they're coming through that like tube thing, all suited up? So I would say that probably the best work boots for electricians would be a wedge sole, something that is, because you're most likely going to be walking on concrete, finished buildings, stuff like that, because electricity tends to exist in buildings. Sometimes it's outdoors, but that would be linemen, right? So electricians, wedge sole, composite toe, just to get the safety rating out there, and something that's, generally high quality and lightweight. Kind of like the ones that I got for Tyler in that video, if you had seen it. So let's take a look at what it is that they recommend. First thing we have Skechers, men's Berglund, industrial boot. Okay, that's best on a budget, maybe. Best overall, Timberland Pro Boondock. No kidding. Best overall boot. Now, if somebody were to say to me, what's the best overall boot? I would point them to one of the Pacific Northwest boot makers. The one that I got for Tyler was like specifically their electrician's boot. They have two. They have one that he got, and then there's another one with a more of a lugged sole. And I would say that those are some of the best work boots that money can buy. Not Timberland Pro. Timberland Pro, I actually had a pair of these, whatever the earlier version of these was, and they were okay, but whatever. Next, most comfortable. Keen utility. What we have here is a bunch of bullshit, basically. All right. So number one, most comfortable. It's going to depend on who's wearing them. Some people like really, really stiff boots that hold you in. Some people like softer boots because maybe when you get a little older or you have plantar fasciitis or whatever it is, you want something that's a little softer. Most comfortable is absolutely subjective. And that's why I don't ever include it in my stuff, because what I find comfortable is probably not what somebody else finds comfortable. So it's kind of useless information. Best overall, complete garbage. There's no way. Best overall is Timberland Pro. Okay. Now, when you go through, you can again see a lot of this SEO bullshit. So you see the title here, what are the best work boots for electricians, right? So they have several different things that kind of restate the same thing. Again, looking for people who are going to be Googling that question, right? So they go through, what are the best work boots for electricians? The Carhartt composite toe boot. Most people, myself included, now I'm a Carhartt fan. I'm wearing a Carhartt shirt right now, but their boots are junk. They really are. I mean, I have some. They're okay at best, but for the most part, they're not very good. Now, they have a lot of work boots. I have not tried out all the work boots, so I cannot say with a blanket statement that they're not all, great or whatever. But to put these anywhere near the word best should be a red flag right off the bat. And they go through comfort and fit. They give you one, maybe two different sentences underneath each heading. Again, this is all SEO kind of crap. And what we're looking at here as you scroll through, it's a bunch of BS is what it is. I mean, I don't have to keep belaboring the point. You get it. Now, why would somebody make a website like this, right? Why would they want to gather all those different opinions or people who are questioning? Why are they funneling you to this website? Well, so they can make affiliate sales. When you click on any of these, it brings you to Amazon, which is guaranteed an Amazon affiliate link. Now, we can actually check. The more, the ones actually have a little bit of a backbone, will tell you their affiliate, sort of thing. Let me see if they have anything about that here. So oftentimes they will say something like, what is our, affiliate policy? I actually don't see that on this website, which again is why it's junk. My website also has affiliate links. Underneath each link that I provide, I tell you that it's an affiliate link, because if you want to buy it through that, it doesn't cost you anything more and it supports me. If you don't, then buy it somewhere else. It's fine. It's going to cost you the same either way, but I want you to know. I want to be as honest and forthcoming with you as possible. Websites like this will not do that. Now, as you scroll down, it'll ask you frequently asked questions. Now, let's go through some of these frequently asked questions. As somebody who's been an electrician for the last 20 years, I can tell you if they're true or not, okay? And you're going to see this pattern of, wait a minute, did a bot write this? And maybe they did, I don't know. First one, do electricians wear work boots? Okay, well, their answer is yes. Electricians typically wear specialized work boots designed to provide safety and protection in their unique work environment. You could swap out the word electricians there for any other profession, and that sentence would still be probably applicable, right? And so, here we go again. These boots are crafted to meet specific safety standards, offering features such as electrical hazard protection, insulation, durability. Yeah, okay, all right. The nature of an electrician's job, which involves working with live wires and potentially hazardous conditions, makes it crucial for them to invest in quality work boots that prioritize both comfort and safety. Like I mentioned to you before, oftentimes we are not working with live wires. Most of the time, I'd say 90% of an electrician's job is pulling the infrastructure by which the building or whatever it is will be energized. Okay, so if you're talking about new construction, I've worked in buildings, I've worked in railroad, industrial and residential stuff. And most of the time what you're doing is you're pulling dead wires, which are not connected yet, and you're terminating them to wherever they're going, or you're putting in conduit. We're doing a lot of conduit stuff now. That can go on for months, if not years, in these bigger jobs. We did a job that was at a sub base that took a long, long time, and all of its infrastructure. There's not an energized wire to be seen. So to think that we're all day playing around with, electricity, energized wires is not true. But either way, they get down here. I don't want to keep going about over the same thing over and over again. Do electricians need EH-rated boots? Yes, electricians should prioritize wearing electrical hazard-rated boots. I mean, maybe. But again, if you know that day you're going to be digging a ditch, which we do, or pouring concrete, which we do, you don't necessarily need an electrical hazard-rated boot. I wish that somebody with a brain had written this, because, they could give you a little bit more insight as to what the job actually entails. Now, let's go back here. So you can see they have a ton of these things. Best work boots for back pain, best slip-on work boots, best blah, blah, blah. If you could figure out, if you go and you just type in best boots and then you let Google autofill it, and then you just took all of those different things and made a crappy article about it, that's more or less what they're doing here. Let's go to another. I used to be a mechanic. For 7 years, I was a mechanic. I'm not as familiar with it as I was as I am with being an electrician, but let's take a look and see what they say about the best work boots for mechanics. Now, without looking, as it's loading here, I'm going to go ahead and say, if somebody were to say, okay, what do you think I should get for a mechanic boot? I'd say, well, first of all, don't get anything too expensive. You're dealing with gear oil, which stinks. You're dealing with grease. You're dealing with gasoline, battery acid, all kinds of nasty stuff, which will spill on your boots. The chances of you having boots that are going to last a long time are slim to none. And I know that kind of goes against my whole thing, but the truth is the truth. Unless you're wearing like rubberized boots or something like that, which is chemically resistant, which who wants to wear those all day? You're probably not going to wear boots for very long. So I'd say get something that's decently comfortable, which, will serve your needs depending on what those are. A lot of, some mechanics do more welding than others. The mechanic is a very general term. Is it diesel mechanic? Is it automotive mechanic? Are you in a clean shop? Are you working on a race car? Are you working on farm equipment? It could be something completely different. So I'd say, depending on what your job is, get something that you can be comfortable and safe in, but you can throw away. So let's see what they say. Most comfortable, Danner men's vicious plain toe work boots. Best overall, Timberland Pro again. Timberland Pro won again. Can you believe it? Wow. Best on a budget, Skechers again. It's crazy, right? I mean, The differences, there's almost none. I mean, I think this is more or less the same lineup they had for electricians. Let's take a look at these Timberland Pros. I'll bet you that they bring us to the Timberland website so we can look at all the Timberland. Wait a minute. No, they brought us to an Amazon site because of course they did. Of course they did. It's SEO affiliate BS, and I fell for it plenty of times. Now, here's the deal. I myself am a dirty, rotten capitalist. I want to make money. It certainly is one of the reasons that I do what I do here. To say that I would do this if I wasn't getting paid, well, actually, I probably would, because I certainly did for years. I enjoy it, and I think that it's a service that needs to be done. But there's definitely there's a link between making money ethically and in a way that you could sleep at night, and doing something like this, which is you're basically promoting garbage, right? So this whole website here, and if you ask me for the name of the website, I will give it to you, is more or less just giving you bad information, right? And so when I try to give you good, better, best, I try to back it up with as much knowledge and information as I possibly can, giving you the knowledge, hopefully, to make the best purchase for yourself, whether it's through my affiliate link or not. I don't care. I just want to know that people are having the same experience I did by wearing garbage to begin with, because that's what you could afford, and then making an investment in something that you're going to have a long time, is going to serve you well. And that's what I want to do. That's why I do the things in the way that I do them. And I hate to say this, but a lot of people who are in my niche, a lot of the channels which you might watch right alongside my main one, are doing just this. And it wouldn't surprise me if one of them is actually behind this website here. I tried to dig into a little bit more, but I couldn't come up with anything. But unfortunately, they play the same game, and it's sad. It really is, because they pose as somebody who is doing what you're doing, what I'm doing, and as a friend, and it's not the same. We are not the same. I am after something completely different than these people are, and I want to make sure that I always take the opportunity to make that distinction when I can. All right, let's get to a little bit of the news. And since I have my computer here, I'm going to go ahead and use that. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is 3Sixteen came out with their utility flannel in a color called, or a colorway, I should say, because there's multiple colors here, faded lilac plaid. Now, I don't have anything from 3Sixteen yet. This cross-cut flannel looks very interesting, especially when you look at the back yoke, which is, again, I think why they call it the cross-cut flannel. But it looks beautiful. But it is expensive. I mean, we're talking $250 for a shirt. That is way up there. And I know I've heard your comments, who's going to buy this or whatever. I want to make sure that I let you know, because there was somebody who was confused in the last episode where I was talking about the $1,700 Momotaro jeans. I'm not saying you should buy them. I'm just telling you about the interesting stuff that I found. If you choose to buy them, that's on you. But I mean, people think that I'm automatically saying you should buy this, like I'm recommending them. If you're like living on a budget, or, you're really responsible with your money, I mean, I'm pretty fiscally conservative myself, and you're buying a $245 shirt, you might want to make sure that that's the right move for you. This is not a financial channel. I can't tell you what to do, but I think this is pretty cool because I actually I like this colorway. I've seen a sea of blues and greens and stuff like that, but when somebody uses a little bit of violet or purple like this, it catches your attention. And I think that for for the springtime coming up, I mean, this is pretty sharp. And again, maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but I thought it was neat and wanted to tell you about it. ONI or ONI, I don't know how you say it. ONI, ONI, you get the idea. They actually came out with a Type 3 jacket in their secret denim. Now, their secret denim, there are a lot of people who really love this stuff. And actually, there's a whole, I think Stridewise did a video about it, as a matter of fact. And it's just, what this reminds me of? This really reminds me of my Tanuki denim jacket, which is kind of still the only denim jacket that I can wear. It fits me well. I like it. It has a lot of character to it. This denim looks very similar to that in that it's full of character. It's neppy. It's sort of, it looks like highly textured, and it's damn sharp. Now, this is $304, which is on the higher end, without a doubt, but it's a jacket. Don't forget, this is a jacket, right? So, expect to pay a little bit more. And it's also done up in a classic style. The Type 3 Levi's trucker is their most popular trucker jacket for a reason. And I think if you were waiting to find something that was really interesting and unique to get in a very distinct denim, this might be right up your alley. Knix and Heat Straps teamed up to make a leather version of the Pioneer. And now the Pioneer bag was previously called the Journeyman. There was an issue, I believe Filson actually had an issue with that because they have a bag also named the Journeyman. So they changed it to the Pioneer, and they made it up in a lighter leather, which actually, it's their 64 brown leather, Knix. And it has a waxed canvas lining. Now, I actually did a little bit of a comparison video between the canvas version of this, the Filson medium duffel, and then the Bradley Mountain. And I found that the Heat Straps Pioneer bag is really, really featured for what it is. It has all the features of both the Bradley Mountain and the Filson combined into one. So if you need something that is like, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at it, and there might even be a kitchen sink in there, this is the one for you. Now, the only thing that I would say is $850 for a leather bag is very expensive. Now, we're not talking Frank Clegg territory, but we're also not talking Frank Clegg refinement and quality either, right? Like, there are a lot of companies which are known for their leather bags, and that's great. However, this is a unique makeup in a really cool looking leather, so maybe this is, you know, again, I don't think this exists anywhere else. Like, even if you were to talk about some of these other leather makers, they probably don't make something like this. So again, if this is your thing, then that's great. But I would say that the canvas version is excellent as well. So whether you get this one or you get the regular Heat Straps one, it's the same bag, just in a different material. And for my money, I would save, you know, half of this and get the regular canvas one. The company Eternal Denim is a new one to me. And I saw this and I was like, wow, what is that? And this looks to me from the outset like it's maybe pre-distressed, which I know is not always the best thing, but for plenty of people, they actually they want to fast forward. They might not want to go through the break-in period. They might not want to like really get into their fades. I mean, a lot of people aren't as nerdy as you and I are. And as somebody who, you know, I mean, I find myself, maybe I'm at the top of the denim head category. I don't go, you know, I'm not like somebody who just nerds out about, you know, natural indigo versus synthetic indigo. And I don't spend my time on like super future, super denim or anything like that. I like it. I like it a lot. And so something like this might be more for you. This is their Japanese Repro Denim Chore Coat. It's denim with red accents, and I don't know exactly how they did this, and they don't really say it in the description. I looked around a bit for what the idea is behind it, because at first glance, it looks like an old denim chore coat, but it's new. So did they pre-distress it before or after it was made? I don't know. I mean, the first thing I want to just talk about, and this is kind of apropos of nothing, is they use like almost like the Detroit cuff, right? So you know the Detroit cuff has that like arc to it. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of little details on this that made it stick out in my mind. Now, it says here, carefully selected and imported from Japan, each vintage selvage denim jacket develops its own individual characteristics from years of unique fading and wear. Kuriko's collection of Japanese reproduction is sourced from Japan's finest manufacturers and mills to showcase the variety of premium denim brands the nation has to offer. Now, so right off the bat, I guess it's a repro. It's in one size. So is this in fact a vintage piece? I don't think so. Looking at the stitching and everything like that, I don't think it is. Did they take apart an old one and restitch it? I don't know. I want to know more about this, because here's the other thing. This is a really good price, $285. That's really good for what you're getting here. I think that the style points alone are off the charts here. So actually, they offer several different models, and I think that if you find one that's in your size that you like, this might be a little bit of a hidden gem here. Now, again, if any of you know anything more about this brand or what they're doing, let me know, because I'm really, really interested, and I maybe have to do a little bit more of my own homework. I gave it a cursory glance and a bit of a peruse around the website. I didn't do a whole big deep dive, but this is interesting, and I'd love to know more. From the company Tender, we have something that's a little bit interesting, and I think that the color is the real thing to talk about here, because the shirt, it's a shirt, you know, and frankly, I don't know why they keep putting oversized garments on people who doesn't look like they fit. It looks like this shirt is about 2 sizes too big for this model. But either way, what we're talking about is that color. Now, they're calling this the Type 453 double cuff mandolin pocket shirt, bleached weft, striped cotton, canvas, red ochre. You got that? Good. Basically, what it looks like to me is a really, really interesting color, which is almost a peach sort of tan, and done up in 100% cotton, almost a gauzy type of cotton, it looks like. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is I think that oftentimes we're looking for something cool to wear when it gets warmer out, and this looks like a great version of that, right? People love denim, they love boots, they love leather, but let's face it, when it starts to get upper temperatures, that stuff doesn't really make much sense. This, though, might, and it's unique enough that I think that just paired with something like a decent, you know, pair of dark wash denim, even some khakis, something like that, you know, this could look pretty cool. And I like the fact that it's so interesting. Now, the thing that I don't like is that it's $373. Every time I see something like this, I go, man, that's not too bad. And then I see the price and automatically I go, oh man. But obviously people are buying it because it says there's only one left in this medium size. Let's see what it says for large. Same thing, one left, none in the small. So if this is your thing, jump on it now, go and check it out. But again, one of the things I like to do is highlight interesting stuff that's happening. And this is one of the more interesting pieces that I found. Along those same lines, getting into the warmer weather pretty soon. Today is the 1st of March, so like, you know, we're solidly in winter territory, especially here in the Northern Hemisphere, but still preparing for the warmer weather. Here we have on Corridor their Rice Stitch Polo, which to me looks a lot like, you know, like distressed denim. Now get this, this polo is actually acid washed. If you're old enough like me to remember the big day of acid wash jeans, stonewashed stuff in the 80s, that was all the rage, but they've done it tastefully on this, where it simply looks like distressed denim. Looks like it's been around for a while, like it's faded. And I gotta say, to a degree, which is very intriguing. I think this is a very good looking polo. I mean, polos oftentimes, if you're talking about peak polos, they either looked way too, like they should have a corporate logo on it, or that it belongs, if they're in like a tech fabric, it looks like it belongs on the golf course. It's not very often that you get one that looks like it would be good with, you know, like this heritage style that some of us like. And I think they did a really nice job with this. It is expensive. You know, it's made in Peru. They have horn buttons, but it's also looks like a pretty high quality piece. So, you know, whether this is for you or not, I don't know. Again, sometimes the models they use for these things, this guy is scary, man. I mean, like he looks like he's gonna jump through the screen and kill me. But anyway, their model here, he's 6'2" and he's wearing a size medium. Looks like a large would probably be better for me, but I think it's just a damn good looking polo. And I think that might be the first time I've ever uttered that sentence. Grant Stone came out with something. Looks like it's sold out, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. But I wanted to talk about it just because I think they did a dynamite job with this here. And that was their Edward boot in black marbled shell cordovan. Now, shell cordovan, if you're not familiar, it's actually not even technically a leather. It's basically the rear horse quarter. And there is a shell, you know, not like a snail shell, but more or less that lives beneath the hide. And I actually, when they're made, when they're sourced, they're this oval shape. And when I was at the Horween factory, they have a whole floor. Their top floor is dedicated to making shell cordovan, and the way it's treated is actually very, very interesting. The cool thing about shell cordovan is it doesn't crease. You can bring it back. Like if you go and buy a pair of shell cordovan boots or shoes off of eBay, oftentimes if you get them resold, you could bring them back to look almost brand new since they don't crease. Unfortunately, sometimes that can look a little plasticky and almost a little too perfect. I don't really care for the look of shell cordovan unless it's like a dress shoe or something like that. But what they've done here with this marbled shell cordovan looks really, really cool. Green tones in there, orange tones, really beautiful. Now, of course, it's a natural product. The one you see here is not the one you're going to get. You're going to get something maybe similar, but it's going to be unique. And that's kind of part of the fun too, right? Is that you have a distinct version, but nice job, Grant Stone. Really, really nice job. Obviously, they sold out right away. Shell cordovan is not cheap. These were almost $800. But I think that if this hopefully there's more of these to come, it might be something worth waiting and jumping on. Now, this has been a pretty long video. It's taken me that long to drink this green drink. But again, I can't express my gratitude enough for you watching this channel, being supportive with your comments and all that stuff. I love it. I love it. I love talking to you guys. And, you know, if I could reach through the camera and give you a big hug, I would. But we're going to have to just sign off for now. And I'll tell you that I'll see you next week. Now, actually, what I'm going to be doing is this set is the same one that I use, obviously, for my main videos. But I am today, hopefully, putting together the new set, which is just for the Coffee with Carl series. And I'm looking at it right now as if you can see it off camera, which I know you can't. But hopefully next week, we'll be coming at you live from a new location. And that'll be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. So this might be the last you see me in these surroundings on this particular series. But pretty soon, we're going to be in our own little spot. We're moving on up, people. There's no doubt about it. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.